In 1932, the Australian military deployed machine guns, trained soldiers, and a strategic battle plan against birds, specifically emus, big, dumb, flightless birds. And somehow, the birds won. This is the true story of the Emu War, one of the most embarrassing military operations in history. And yes, it's exactly as ridiculous as it sounds. The Emu War. To understand this, we need to go back to right after World War I. The Australian government had a problem: thousands of returning soldiers and not enough jobs for them. So they came up with a plan: give these veterans land in Western Australia and turn them into farmers. Sounds nice, right? Free land, fresh start, grow some wheat. Except nobody really checked if Western Australia was actually good farmland. Spoiler, it wasn't great. The soil was poor, rainfall was unpredictable, and wheat prices were dropping because of the Great Depression. So these veteran farmers were already struggling. And then, the emus showed up. See, every year, emus migrate inland after breeding season, searching for water and food, and in 1932, around 20,000 emus decided the freshly planted wheat farms looked like an excellent buffet. They trampled fences, they ate crops, they drank water meant for livestock. The farmers were losing their entire harvest to giant birds that just would not leave. So the farmers, many of them former soldiers themselves, did what made sense to them. They asked the government for actual military support, machine guns specifically, and somehow the Australian Minister of Defence said yes. The plan: send a small military detachment led by Major G.P.W. Meredith, armed with 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, to deal with the emu problem. This was treated as a serious, semi-official military operation. There were even plans to keep emu feathers as trophies, supposedly to make hats for light horsemen. On November 2nd, 1932, the operation began. Soldiers spotted a group of about 50 emus. They set up the guns, they opened fire, and the emus scattered in every direction completely unpredictably, and almost none of them were hit. Here's the thing nobody accounted for. Emus are fast. They can run up to 50 kilometers per hour, and they don't move in a nice predictable line like you'd expect. They scatter erratically, making them an absolute nightmare to hit with a stationary machine gun. The soldiers tried again a few days later, this time attempting an ambush near a dam where about 1,000 emus had gathered. They waited. The emus approached. The gunner opened fire, and the gun jammed after only 12 birds were killed. The remaining emus scattered before they could fix it. Major Meredith even tried mounting a machine gun on a truck to chase emus down. The truck couldn't keep up with them on the rough terrain, and the bouncing made it impossible to aim anyway. By the end of the operation, after using literally thousands of rounds of ammunition, official estimates suggest only somewhere between 50 and a few hundred emus were actually killed, out of an estimated 20,000. The press had a field day. One newspaper joked that the emus had won every round so far. Members of Parliament openly mocked the operation. The military was pulled out after about a month, having accomplished basically nothing. So how did Australia actually solve their emu problem? Not with guns. Farmers eventually got better results from something much simpler: building proper fencing, specifically exclusion fencing designed to keep emus out of farmland. The government also introduced a bounty system, paying farmers for emus they culled themselves. It turns out the low-tech solution worked far better than sending in the army. The Emu War became something of a legend in Australian history, often brought up as a light-hearted example of military overconfidence meeting an opponent nobody took seriously enough to actually study first. This story gets told as a joke, and honestly, it is funny. A modern military with machine guns failing to beat birds. But there's a real lesson hiding underneath the comedy. Overwhelming force doesn't automatically win if you don't understand what you're actually up against. The soldiers expected slow, clustered, predictable targets. Instead, they got fast, scattered, chaotic ones. The strategy was built for the wrong problem, and sometimes the simplest solution, a fence instead of a machine gun, beats the impressive one. If you like this, subscribe to Pocket History for more of the strangest, dumbest, and most unbelievable moments from world history every week. Got a weird historical event you want covered next? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one.